Hey everyone, it's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks Commentary.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary Live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I am Clay Emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It is Wednesday night, December the 20th. It is my daughter Kayla's last day of being 15 years old. So no matter what, no matter how good the stream is, I have to leave before midnight or else she will kick me out of the house. She has that power. So I'm going to go for about 45 minutes tonight just to be safe. So I'm so thrilled that all you guys are here, and welcome tonight. Moderators, do what you need to do to keep this a safe and respectful place. And Murray got us going. While I'm doing my intro, let me know where you're watching from tonight. I know Murray's here from New Zealand, which is awesome. So type that in while I do my intro. So moderators, do what you need to do. Members, as legends, Hall of Fame and franchise members, thanks for your support as always. And to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether my beautiful neighborhood of Richmond, I messed that up, in Steveston and Richmond, in the city, lower mainland, province, country, continent, or around the world, thank you for being here. You know that I know that you could be doing anything else, watching anyone else, getting ready for work, school, or bed. Maybe you have a kid who's celebrating a birthday in an hour. Whatever you're doing, the fact that you are here, I always appreciate you, and I never, ever take you for granted. So this is how you get involved tonight. You can subscribe so you get active in the chat section and get notified of my videos every single day. You can like this video. There are 33 of you in here, which is awesome. And I appreciate all of you. So 33 of you in here, that means we should get the likes up to about 16 or 17 as we get going. So yeah, make sure you like the video. You can leave a donation and get that donation train out of the station. You can gift a membership, which is the same as a $5 donation. You can also buy your own membership, upgrade your own membership. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. It's interesting. I just found this thing where I see that there are 42 of you in here, which is awesome. But then when I click on a different thing, it shows me participants. And I guess it only shows, this is where they show people that are actually logged in. So an account. So I see, and it's those people that are chatting. So I was going to name them, but I probably shouldn't. But just kind of interesting to see that there's 40 of you in here, but only 10 of you in here like logged in under a YouTube channel, which is fine. That means there's some people watching that don't sign in, and we welcome you just the same. So you can get involved with get involved in the show in all those ways that I just mentioned. And what I want to do today is talk about the fact that the Canucks are halfway to a playoff spot already. And I'll talk about what I mean by that in a couple of minutes. But as I mentioned, I want to hear where you guys are watching from right now tonight. So Murray started us off by saying he's from New Zealand. That's just awesome. And then Fitness says, get the likes up. I agree with Fitness, actually. That's good. I usually agree with Fitness, so that's good. Harry's coming from my beautiful city of Richmond, which is awesome. Beanchild, you get ads. So you mean, did I say an ad, a commercial? Or did an ad pop up on your stream? It shouldn't have. I thought I dismissed them, but I always do a commercial at the start of the show. North Delta represent, Ricky. You represent no matter where you're watching from. Fitness in North Van. Love it, love it, love it. What else we got here? We got a Kayla hype. Yes. So I'm not going to force her. I'm not going to make her appear on the stream tonight because it's technically not her birthday yet, but I am going to try, and we'll see how it goes. I know we're going to have people over tomorrow night. It's still a school night for her. She's got to get up at 6 a.m. She got to be at school at 6 a.m. on Friday. But all to say, no pressure, but I'm going to try and have Kayla come on the stream tomorrow and say hi to everyone as part of her 16th birthday. But that's tomorrow because she's still 15 right now. Northern BC. Yes, yes, yes. Abbotsford, Northern Vancouver Island. Love it, Luke. I will greet Kayla for you, Carol, from one legend to another. We got Bean Child in Abbotsford. We got the other side of the river, just the other side of the Fraser. We got B Presto coming from Vancouver. We got Burnaby Whoop. I don't know what. Oh, Burnaby Whoop. I thought that was a new place called Burnaby Whoop, like Burnaby Loop. Carol from the Okanagan and Penticton. Yeah, no, Bean Child. It's funny. My birthday is on June 22nd, which is exactly 6 months away from Christmas. Used to spread out the gifts, but with Kayla's birthday on December 21st, she still gets a birthday and a Christmas gift, or if they're combined, they're usually a lot bigger than what they would be individually. Isn't it the sum is greater than the individual parts, or some saying like that? Hello, Justin. Nice to see you. We got Northern British Columbia and others. So this is what I want to do. I'll talk about the Canucks for the first 15. I'll go for about 13 to 15 minutes or so. Do my mid-show sponsor read, then I'll turn it over to all of you. And I think tonight we'll have time for both Canucks talk and for some Ask Me Anything. But the Canucks talk is obviously the more important part. Coach Rob leaving Shannon's and walking by a pizza place in Esquimalt. That's good detail there. And we got Hazelton as well. I'm not even sure where Hazelton is. Tell me that just happened where Hazelton is. So guess what, Canucks fans? You may have heard the news. The San Jose Sharks beat the LA Kings. Yes. So it's now we can actually talk about points percentage and be happy about it and not dismiss it just because it doesn't work in our favor. So let's talk about this right now. Here are the scores from tonight. Only one Pacific team, only 3 games. We had the Jets beating the Red Wings. We had Bo Horvat and the Islanders. Their win streak snapped, but they still got a point. Washington beats them. And then in LA, we have Seattle beating the LA Kings. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We have Seattle beating the Kings. So now we can look at the standings and see this. Oh, by the way, what did I say? Did I say something else about LA? I don't want to go back and rewind. Just tell me what I said. I'm sure I messed up. I messed up a lot of times. But what did I say? Who did I say beat LA? Obviously, it wasn't. I didn't say San Jose because about 8 people corrected me in the span of a minute. But speaking of legends, Hot Take says I should probably go to sleep. But then I saw the legend go live. Hot Take, love you, brother, love you, John. But no, go to bed. There's nothing that I'm going to say in the next half an hour that's going to make you say, man, I'm sure glad I stayed up for the Canuck Clay stream tonight. Honestly, I love you, man. I know you love me in a good platonic way, both ways. But go to bed. Go to bed. If you're around tomorrow night, come visit tomorrow night because I'll have my daughter Kayla on and we can all greet her happy 16th birthday tomorrow. But tonight, don't sweat it. I think you should leave. Oh, I said San Jose. That's right. I did say San Jose because LA beat San Jose yesterday. Yes, Seattle. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. You guys are good. All right. So, John, you do what you want, but know how much I appreciate that you are here. So I don't care if it's San Jose or Seattle. I just care that LA loses. So now check out the standings. Vegas still has 47 and 33. We have 46 and 33. LA now has 40 in 29 because they didn't get any points. And then who cares about the rest of the division right now? The cool thing is this. Even if LA wins the 4 games in hand that they have, they'll get up to 48 points. They're only 2 points clear of the Canucks. I don't think they're going to win the next 4 that they have in hand because they're only 5-4-1 in the last 10. And if you take the 690, I'm going to say all 3 numbers, the 690 points percentage, you extrapolate that times they have 8 possible points. It's easy math, but you go 8 times 0.690. Their expected points is only 6, 5.5 technically. So technically, even if they play at the pace they're playing on, and it helped that they lost tonight, they will only get to 45 or 46 points. So the fact that they have a lower points percentage than us, we can now say that the Canucks are truly in second place in the division. Most people were saying that anyways because they don't worry about points percentage. And you know my take, points percentage does matter when all the games aren't equal. So when you go by points, the Canucks are still the second best team in the league, although there's 2 teams right behind them that could catch them because they're by points percentage. The Canucks are now 4th. The Rangers and Boston are the two teams that could catch the Canucks. Then Vegas, Vancouver, and now LA is right below us. So it's not like we're blowing past LA, but it does mean that we are at least are better than them in points percentage, which is pretty cool. Now, here's the other thing, you guys. This I go over this math all the time, and some of you guys might be saying, "Oh, I'm sick of you talking about this, Clay, or you explain the math to me." Actually, let me ask a poll question for you, and I want you to be honest. And you're not showing off. You know me. I value honesty in this chat. Say, do you know? Are you well versed in NHL math, i.e., games over 500, what it takes to make the playoffs, etc. Here we go. Yes, I understand everything. So I get it a bit. I have no. Okay, so sorry for the podcast listeners. That was probably a bit painful to hear me try and articulate what I'm typing out. So I just asked a poll, and I basically said, are you well versed in NHL math, i.e., games over 500, what it takes to make the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera? So I don't want to go into too much basic detail. If the majority of you understand all this already, then I don't have to explain it. However, if I see that the majority of you are not really well versed and like the explanations, I will take that into consideration as well. So once again, why don't you vote? Why don't you vote on the poll? And I would love to know what you guys think, because for some people, because they either are good at math or they follow stats and they understand percentages and they understand games in hand and they understand ramifications of the games in hand. For some of you, you might say, "Oh, Clay, you talk about this every day," and I get it, and you don't have to spend so much time on it. Others might say, "No, I really want it to be spelled out for me, so I understand what it is." So 62% of you right now are already saying, that you understand everything. And I like what you guys are saying. J-Lo says, my brain hurts, so I leave it to others. Very good, honest answer. Lyndon says, I understand it to a point. I understand points and wins and losses, getting the percentage part of it. Okay, that's good. I like that. Okay, so that was a quick poll just to see where you guys are at. And 2/3 of you are saying that you understand everything. Then 15% of you saying so, 12% saying I get it a bit, and 6% saying I have no clue. So 80% of you are saying that you understand. So that's good for me to know. Then I don't have to dumb it down. Not dumb it down. That sounds disrespectful. But truly, I don't have to dumb it down. Okay, fine. So let's go with a more high-level approach. Basically, it's this. The Canucks are 22-9-2. They are 13 games over 500. 46 minus 33 is 13. So when I say they're 13 games over 500, you know that basically that's how many points they have over the number of games they played. So that's easy math. The also easy math is if you double 46 times 2 is 92. You look at the stats right now, 92 points is should get you into a wild card spot. So even though the Canucks have only played 33 games, not even close to half, they are already halfway to a playoff spot. And when I say playoff spot, I'm talking about wild card. Now, if you want to make second or third in the division, then you're probably looking at about 100 points. And if you want to win the division, you're probably looking at 108, 110 and up. So let's not settle for, I've said this since the Canucks started so well, let's not settle for just a wild card spot, finishing 13 games over 500, 95 points, 92 points, 10 games over, 13 games over. Yeah, 92 points actually would be only 10 games over 500. Let's not settle for that. Let's try and win the division. I love that. And now we're getting all these stats. By the way, sorry, I just interrupted myself, but I love it. I love responding to your comments. You just break everything down. That's what I like about you. Thank you, Lyndon. I like the fact that you like that. And I hope I'm not insulting anyone's intelligence nor going too fast. It's a tricky balance immediately when there's 80 people in the chat. And then Shannon, I appreciate your honesty, Shannon. I have no clue that 6% was me. All good. And then J-Lo throwing in some math. Less than 25% have smashed the like button. I love it. I love it. I love it. NHL standings for dummies. Some of us could use it. Coach Rob offered to help Shannon, so that's good. So let's keep going here. So what's really interesting is I'll do one other thing for you guys. When you look at the wild cards position right now in the West, the Arizona Coyotes are holding down the last wild card spot at 0.548 points percentage. 0.548 times 82 games times 2 points per game. If the Arizona Coyotes are playing at a 90-point pace and they are in the wild card spot right now, isn't that crazy? So 90 points, if everything kind of goes the way it's been going, 90 points this season will get you in the playoffs. 90, not 94, not 95, but 90. And you look in the East, the Eastern wild card team right now, the seventh highest points percentage is Washington. The eighth is 578. So let's go 578. So in the East, you would have to 0.578 times 2 times 82. In the East, you'd have to get a 95-point pace. So that's interesting. Right now, the pace is 95 points to finish in a wildcard spot in the East and only 90 points to finish in a wildcard spot in the West. So if you only need 90 points to make the playoffs, the Canucks at 46 are more than halfway there, and they've only played 33 games. So the Canucks have only played 40% of their schedule, but they're more than 50% on their way to a playoff spot. However, as I've said many times, we do not simply want to settle for a playoff spot. We want to get the win division. Would be awesome. Get home ice for the first 2 rounds. If you finish first in the division, you're playing against one of the 2 wild card teams. And right now, if the playoffs started today, the 2 wild card teams in the West are Nashville and Arizona. We just swept Nashville 3 games, the 3-game season series, and I'm not worried about Arizona. If you finish second or third in the division, then you're playing against whoever didn't win the division. So you're either playing against Vegas or LA. I think you guys would agree with me. That's going to be a lot tougher. And if you finish in a wild card position, then you're playing against one of the 2 division leaders. Right now, it's going to be Vegas or Winnipeg. So you can see why it's important to finish as high as you can. In theory, you're supposed to have a better chance of going through the playoffs if you do finish higher. Justin says the only math I want to know with regards to the NHL is 1 to 8 in the conference, and if so, then 1 to 16 after. Love it. 1 to 8 in the conference, i.e., are you in the playoffs? Then do you have the 16 wins necessary to capture a Stanley Cup? Love it. President's Trophy is number 1 in the entire NHL. The entire NHL. Justin says, I do appreciate the breakdown because us Canucks fans aren't ever this close in years to care much about how well. That's such a great point, Justin. That can't be understated. December 20th, and we're talking about the Canucks 1 point behind first place in the Pacific Division. Actually, we were talking about that last night. So technically December 19th, we were talking about it as well. Friends, I'm going to do my Mitchell sponsor read now, and then I'm going to leave a lot of questions for you. But let me answer this real quick. Do we prefer the 1 to 8 format or this format? This format right now, Natty, is to guarantee that there's a divisional winner that advances to the Final Four, and then you're supposed to build in some divisional rivalries like the old Smythe and Norris and Patrick and Adams division. However, sometimes the 2 best teams come from the same division in the Eastern or Western Conference. So that's the tricky part. And it's tough to say when you get the playoffs who truly are the best teams. So that's what advocates of the 1 to 8 system would prefer, is that you're not hamstrung forced to have a division winner from each division in the Final Four. Okay, let me do a Mitchell sponsor read, and then I'll turn it over to all of you. Shout out to my primary sponsor, Van City Experts Real Estate. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. Shout out to my secondary sponsor, Perform and Transform, personal training and weight loss. Check them out at ptforum.com. Thank you to Gassy Jack Art, maker of that fine artwork. And thank you to Vessi Footwear. Use the URL, tinyurl.com/VessiClay, and receive a free pair of socks off of your next Vessi purchase. Also a reminder, if you're looking for Canucks tickets, email me at canuckclay@gmail.com. The only tickets I have left before New Year, so there's only 2 games left, San Jose and Philly, is I still have a Laura Bowl pair of tickets for San Jose that I can sell to you. And then don't forget the road trip that we were going on. I heard from Neal today, another 4 people expressed interest today, which is awesome. So it looks like this trip is going to happen, but you do have to contact Neal. So remember, 4 days in Vegas, 3 nights, Canucks game, airfare, 3 nights hotel, Park MGM, and airport transfers, all for $999. And if you're interested, contact Neal Chark at nealc@uniglobecarefree.ca. nealc@uniglobecarefree.ca. He'll ask for a $200 deposit. The rest is due at the end of January. And make sure, as my friend Francesco did today, you mention my name because Neal wants to know where all of his sales are coming from. Awesome. I hope you consider joining me. I know it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but relatively speaking, it's a very good deal. And that's why 4 of my family members are going. So if you come, you get to hang out with me, Sean, my mother, Joyce, and my daughter, Kayla, the birthday girl, turning sweet 16 in 40 minutes from now. Mid-show reminder to all of you to subscribe, to like the video, to leave a donation, to be the first to get the donation train out of the station tonight. You can also gift memberships, upgrade your own membership, buy your own membership. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. So let's get to your questions. We're right at the precipice. Usually if there's 75 or more, I want to do questions only. So let's do questions only first. And then if we run out, then I'll go over general comments. But before that, love it, Billy. Billy gets the donation train out of the station tonight by gifting a membership. So let's give Billy some love. So thank you, Billy C, for gifting 1 franchise membership. It goes randomly to Bean Child. So Bean Child, welcome to the CCCC, the Clay's Canucks commentary crew. You get 1 free month of franchise membership starting today. And thank you, Billy, for the donation. Let's give Billy some love in the chat. That is awesome, Billy. So we are going questions only because we have 94 people in here, which is awesome on a non-game night. Harry says, hi, Clay. How are you? Who do you think will be an interesting matchup in the playoffs? An interesting matchup to me would, not saying it's be successful, would be Vegas, LA, or somehow Dallas, or somehow Colorado. But for that to happen, one of us would have to finish first in our division, and one of us would have to finish in the wildcard spot if we met in the first round. Otherwise, we wouldn't meet a Colorado until the 3rd round. So I'll say LA and Vegas are both intriguing matchups for me. Is the current roster freeze just for trades and free agent signings, or does it include signing an extension too? No, I think it means you can't move guys to another team. I don't know if you can move them up and down to your farm team. And I think you can sign an extension. It just means I don't think you can trade because it's too close to Christmas. But Fangirl, that's a really good question. I don't know the actual, they just keep saying roster freeze, because that certainly can't mean that you can't bring anyone up or down, because once someone gets hurt, I think it means switching teams. But that is an excellent question. Rank these media moguls from your favorite to not so favorite. Oh, fitness. I've learned the hard way. I probably won't do this publicly just in case. Now, I'm not thinking too highly of myself, thinking that all these 6 guys are listening with bated breath as to what Canuck Clay has to say. But I've learned not to kind of do these rankings publicly. I will say that really quickly, I think Sat's very smart. And he's been very good to me. I've met him a few times. Beck, I like a lot. He's not as experienced as the rest of them, but I've met Beck. He's a very genuine guy, and I see him around the rink. Drance, I've had on my show before. He's very polarizing, but the guy knows his stuff. Jason Bruff, I've actually only met once, and I had never had him on my show. And I think he's smart, and he's a really, really good host, really fun. And Dan Riccio, I think he's got a good voice. I think he's got a good mastery of things. So I like all 5 of these guys, but I probably won't rank them fitness. Maybe privately, but not publicly. That dude, it's not a question, but I want to read this. Patrick Alvin proved me wrong. I was on the rebuild train, but he really did build a contender. Yep. It took him 2 years, but he built his contender. Did you hear about the comments Ethan Bear made? Seemed like he never wanted to be back with the Canucks. No, Edmund, tell me about them. I have not heard Ethan Bear's comments, and that is very interesting to me. Hey, Steve, I asked that actually at the start of the show, and people were typing in. So if you go back to the comments at the start, if you can see them, then you'll check it out. But we have people as far as Germany, New Zealand, and a lot of people in BC proper. Carol has gifted 2 memberships, so let's honor both of them at the same time. So thank you, legendary Carol Bovlander. She starts off by gifting the first membership, and it goes to the Stephen. Stephen, I'd never seen this name before, so welcome, Stephen, to this live stream, and welcome to Canuck Clay membership. You get free franchise membership for a month, which is awesome. And then Carol gifts another membership right after. And this one goes to Jack Maloney, who I have seen as a member before. So welcome back to membership, Jack. So welcome back, Jack. Welcome, Stephen and Carol. Thank you very much for your generosity. Always love having you around and on the stream. So thank you very much. Let's give Carol some love for sure. Going to keep doing the questions only just so I can keep up. How would the NHL do games for Arizona in the playoffs? Because being in their small barn would be wild for a playoff game. Yeah, if I guess maybe they weren't expecting the Arizona Coyotes to make the playoffs, but if they do, I think that's their home rink, so they got to play there. And maybe that's part of the allure for them is that they have an intimate barn of 4,000 to 5,000 people, loud, ruckus people who weren't expecting a playoff game. By the way, I was just adjusting. I'm wearing an ice pack on my left foot today. They did 15,000 steps because I was at my church. That's why I'm wearing this amazing sweater. We had our Christmas party for the students tonight, but I set up all these tables. I set up 100 chairs. I set up the AV system because that's my job, or at least my volunteer job. And yeah, I'm feeling it right now. So if I look in any anguish or discomfort, or I'm leaning down, I'm not looking for contact lenses or anything. I'm readjusting my ice pack. Daniel, you know my prediction for tomorrow's game. Everyone in here knows my prediction for tomorrow's game. A 4-2 win for the Canucks. I will stand by that prediction until it actually comes true. Roster freeze, no player movements unless emergency. Okay, so that probably means even calling up and sending down. Good to know. I guess they don't want guys, like it's different because our farm team's in Abbotsford, but I guess the NHL is showing some heart and they don't want players having to be traveling during Christmas season unnecessarily. Yeah, Ricky, they said 6 to 8 weeks when Susie first got hurt. Wasn't that 4 weeks ago now? Haven't they always been talking about mid-January? So maybe, and I think, I'd like to think that he gets up to game speed pretty quick. But obviously his injury is pretty serious. My guess is he'll be practicing mid to late January. So maybe you're looking at late January when he's up to game speed. Great question. Harry, I don't know for sure. I do know that I've heard Jim Rutherford speak, and it sounds like that he was very surprised that they didn't land Ethan Bear, because at least in the interview I heard, he thought that they were the front runners. He was talking to Ethan Bear's agent, and he thought that they were the favorites to land Ethan Bear. Now, I'm very curious to see. I think someone mentioned that he made some comments today that made it sound like he never was intending to sign in Vancouver. So I'll have to get to the bottom of that. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. What else we got here? Oh, Ethan. By the way, did they announce formally that Ethan Bear is with the Capitals? Ethan Bear. Free agent Bear skating with the Capitals, expected to sign at a later date. Capitals say they expect to officially sign defenseman Ethan Bear. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Oh, interesting. They wanted me here instead of needing me. Well, we needed him, but we wanted him too. Lyricless, interesting. How far do you see the Canucks going if they happen to make the playoffs this year? I mean, realistically, what you believe is possible. Well, Lyricless, I mentioned this on my stream yesterday, is I think if they make the playoffs, I wouldn't put it past them to win the first 2 rounds, really, because they're right there with Vegas and LA. Now, I don't know how well we do in a 7-game series against either of those teams, but when it comes to regular season performance, we're right there with those 2 teams. So if I say to you that it's a 50-50 chance or relatively even chance that we can beat those 2 teams, and we have to play one of them in the first round and the other one in the second round, then now the Canucks are sitting in the third round. And do any of Winnipeg, Dallas, or Colorado actually scare you? I don't know. They don't scare me. So now we're talking about the Canucks going to the finals. And then I guess Boston, I'm just adjusting my strap again. I guess Boston and the Rangers are likely the 2 favorites like the 2 favorites coming from the East. And we played the Rangers pretty good. We haven't played Boston yet. So realistically, not if they make the playoffs, when they make the playoffs, my guess, this is not my hope, my guess is they can win the first round, but they might not get out of the Pacific. Like they might lose to either Vegas or LA in the second round. That's what I think is going to happen. But what I want to happen, obviously, and what could happen, it's not impossibility, is that the Canucks actually make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. And then it's all bets are off after that. Could Ethan Bear be the most overrated player? I've never heard fans talk about a mediocre player so often. Yeah, I think the left side of our defense is good with Hughes, with Susie, with Cole, with now Zadorov. The right side's still pretty weak with Hronik and Myers. So if you bring Ethan Bear in, he automatically becomes maybe even your second best right shot defenseman if you put him ahead of Myers. So that's why I wouldn't know if it's overrated, but there was certainly some interest in him. And remember, he played well with Quinn Hughes last year, and Quinn Hughes played well with Bear on his side. So, but I hear you. Maybe it's a little bit too much. Glad you made it home safe, Rob. What do you think your prediction tomorrow night against the Stars? Oh yeah, 4-2. Which Canuck player will score first? Let's go with Brock getting a goal again. I have not heard of the Pat Quinn hockey tournament. I'd love to learn more. Jaskrin, I'm doing great. Thank you. Kayla turns 16 in 25 minutes now. So that means I got to be off in 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. Who knew that Pius Suter would be someone of a linchpin, playing great, 3 points in 4 games since returning? Yeah, I call him Pius Shooter. As you guys know, he has 5 goals now. He had 4 goals in 5 games before he got injured in Montreal in mid-November. But yes, I love what he brings. And I love that he's able to play on the top line as a winger. He can play in your bottom 6 as a center. Type of guy that you need. And I'm glad we have him for 2 years as opposed to just 1. Adam says nothing but love for Ethan, but what was the hype? I think he was just a solid player. He didn't do anything, one particular thing amazingly well, but he was an all-around decent player. Kuzmenko traded for Ethan Bear. Probably not going to happen. Do you agree with not changing the lineup after win, but when they contradict themselves by changing the goalies? Is it more superstition? So I think because the forwards' fitness are so interconnected, right? You have to be really in sync with your line. Because the D pairings are so interconnected, you have to be really in sync with your D partner. Goalie, of course, you're part of the team. You're the most important player on the team, but you're also the most disconnected. You're the most independent of all those things, because the teams shouldn't really change the way they play based on who's in net. So that's why it's not so much a superstition. A lot of times with goaltending, it comes down to rest. It comes down to your history against a certain team. It comes down to the goalie coach, how he's feeling and what their plan is. So it's funny that, yeah, that's a really good point, that oftentimes those decisions are made almost in contradiction to each other, or in isolation, in that, going with the same lineup, except Demko's in net, or going with the same skaters, except DeSmith's in net. That's a good point. But I think it's not as simple just to say, keep the entire lineup the same, including the goaltenders. Great question. Do you think the Canucks can win the Stanley Cup? Are we legit? Yeah, why not? They're second best team in the league right now by points. So yeah, they could. They could. Shame that Nolan Patrick retired. He's too He too is a bust. Say he's a bigger bust than Ole Juolevi. Patrick, did he go number 1? He went number 2, right? After Nico Hischier. Yeah, he was a bit of a bust for sure. It is really sad. Juolevi, though, was picked number 5. Yeah. I think because Patrick was picked higher, I think he is a bit more of a bust. Do you think Myers is going to be giving less time when Susie returns? No, it has nothing to do with Susie. Because, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but Myers is still going to eat up minutes on the right side. Then they're going to move one of Susie Kohler-Zadorov to the right as well. I see why. Yeah, maybe a slight reduction, but not crazy. Yeah, one media outlets were saying he was retired, then others saying he's not retired, but he doesn't want to talk about it. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's being forced to retire because of health issues, and he doesn't want to say that. I think he'll still be in the NHL fitness. I don't know if he's going to be making 5.5 after his next 2-year contract for sure. D-Trent says, don't call him a bust when it's had head injuries out of his control. I would like to know, what do I do about getting on your streams? Because I'm always having to look you up. They never tell me you're on. I push the bell to let people. Yeah, Carol. Well, I think the first thing is just know that I'm on 11 o'clock every night. Well, 5 nights a week. The second thing is, if you've pushed the notification bell, you should get notifications. So if you get notifications for any other channel, like they either show up on your phone or your iPad, or you have to actually click on the notification section, it should be there. It should say Canuck Clay is streaming it tonight, or Canuck Clay is streaming now. Yeah, that's interesting, Carol. I don't know what's wrong there, unfortunately. Yeah, Harry, it's sad. Sad that anyone has to retire so early, if that's indeed the case. Will the Canucks run out of real estate at Rogers for adding players to the Ring of Honor? Not yet. There's still a lot of room. Will they ever cut a guy? No, I don't think they would cut a guy. They would just have to make up a new type of category, a third category. You're not Ring of Honor, but you're not jersey retire. No, I think they would, or they'd add a second ring somehow. I don't know how they would do that. How much will a Canuck Upper Bowl ticket be for game 1 round 1 of the playoffs? Well, I'll put it this. Well, it really depends where you want to sit. Like, you can go with cheap seats or you can go very expensive seats. I will say this: when the Canucks made the playoffs in 2011, my ticket cost $40 for the regular season, and then it went 70, 80, 120, 150 as the 4 rounds went on. So that means by round 2 is doubled. By round 4, it was quadrupled. So now my ticket's worth about $60. So I guess then by round 2 be 120. By fourth round be 250. Yeah, I could see, like, and mine's the second cheapest ticket in the building. So it's a good deal. I could see them going from 60 to 100, 120, like 200, 250 type thing. I would try Hronek on his own pair, as long as he can hold his own pair, knowing that you can always go back to Hughes and Hronek. No, I like Dallas. I think Dallas is really good, and we'll see. No, but when I say the Canucks are going to win 4-2, I've said that about every single team this season. Don't worry about that. Will you for sure be going to Canucks first round game? Yes, for sure. Wait, are you saying, if the Canucks make it, am I going to go for sure? Yes. Are you saying, am I sure that the Canucks are going to make it? Yes. So my answer is yes to both. I used to watch UFC right when it started, right when there were fewer rules, right when it was Dan Severn and Kim Shamrock and Chemo and Royce Gracie and all those guys. So I don't watch it as much now. Fitness, my eldest son, Sean, he knows a lot about the UFC. Former favorite player from the Jets? I like Kyle Connor and Connor Hellebuyck. Former player. Yeah, I don't like a lot of necessarily former players, because none of the ones that have left have I said, oh, I really like that guy. So maybe it's the same question right now. Yeah, I like Howard Chuck, but that's going way back. You live 2 minutes from the Apex. Oh, that's Lyricless. I was in Dallas in February to speak at a youth conference. Kuzi was scratched again because Tocchet simply said he wanted to play the players that gave him the best chance to win. Luke picks Niels Hogliner. That's good. Yeah, for Kayla's birthday, I'm going to drive her to school, pick her up, take her to lunch. Then we're going to go to rec room, and then we're going to do dinner. and then we're gonna have probably have people over, and then I'm gonna bring her on the stream. Yeah, Rick Tockett does love Myers. Yeah, Myers, he still makes mistakes, and they're just magnified because he's so big, right? But he's been okay. He's been okay. Hey, Chris. Oh, thank you, Fitness, for clarifying. Not saying this would ever happen, but what would your last meal be before facing execution? Either a steak or a big, beautiful salmon sashimi. Fillmore's offering to trade. What's he offering to trade? Yeah, I don't know much about hockey cards, so I can't really help. Hello, Joel. Do you think Canucks will be underdogs in the playoffs? No, not if they're, well, technically if they finish third and they have to play against LA or Vegas, who's in second, then technically the Canucks will be the underdog by points. Okay, I'm gonna have to skip ahead and just rip through the last few questions because I do want to end off in the next 5 minutes. Favorite beach in the summer? I don't go a lot, despite having this amazing figure that I should show off, this amazing body. No, but I've always liked Kitts Beach. Who's my pick for the Cup as of now? We haven't played them yet, and I know they're faltering a bit, but in my head I had LA and Boston. Yeah. Could we see Kuzmenko play tomorrow? I doubt it. I think they're going to go with the same skaters. I really do. Yakupov or Patrick? Yeah, it's hard because Patrick was injured more. Yakupov just didn't play well. Ticetto, who's number one, do you think they should retire both McLean and Luongo jersey? Nope, I don't think so. Is this scandalous if I say I think they could retire Luongo but not McLean? Should the Canucks retire number one? That dude, I've gone on record and said yes, that would be my preference, but I'm actually okay with what they ended up doing. Do you think Hirose is a full-time NHLer next season? I don't. Would they retire a number if another player is currently wearing it? Probably not. But then that's usually a good indication that the number shouldn't be retired. Oh, yes. Solani as a Jet player was good. What's your parade route when they win the Cup? Start at my house in my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston in Richmond. Go down Steveston Highway, across 3 Road, but you might get run over by a bad driver. No, go over 2 Road, Arthur Lang, past the McDonald's there, and then go to the airport. That's one. That's the Richmond-based one. Downtown makes sense, right past Rogers Arena, Dunsmuir Viaduct, Georgia Viaduct, Robson, Homer, Burrard, all those streets. So any of those two would be fine. I don't think I watched a single movie in the theater in 2023. That's how uncool I am. So I can't even answer that 350. Favorite Christmas movie? I'm going to look uncool. I don't have a favorite Christmas movie ever either. You guys must think I'm a real loser. Actually, don't answer that. How long have I been a Canucks fan? All 49 years of my life. Seriously, 45 of those 49 years. And I think the biggest thing was listening to every single game on the radio with my dad and my brother. Favorite non-Canuck in the NHL today? That's a good question. I really like Steven Stamkos. I really like McKinnon and Makar, admittedly, and I do like Connor Hellebuyck a lot. But maybe I think my favorite non-Canucks player is Stamkos. I guess I like Horvat now because I liked him a lot when he was a Canuck, and I don't not like him now just because he moved. But maybe Stamkos. Kirk McLean, Captain Kirk. Gotcha. He wasn't a captain, but he's Captain Kirk. We can't trade Tyler Myers in the offseason because he becomes a free agent. So you have to trade him before the end of the year. Otherwise, there's no team that would trade for him after the season because they know they could sign him for free. Well, not for free. They don't have to give up anything on July 1. Yeah, just in case she's watching, I better not say Carol. I can tomorrow I'll tell you guys what we got her, but just in case she's listening or she has a spy in the chat, I don't want to wreck it. We're almost there. We're only 15 minutes away. Friends, I would love to keep going, but I have to get going. And I'm sorry I can't answer everyone's questions. You got to ask them earlier. That's your lesson for next time. But we're teetering on 100 people all night, and I'm so grateful for all of you. The hockey guy made a video tonight about being called out on Twitter by someone saying he isn't a loyal Canucks fan. Okay, I'll have to watch it. I don't watch all of the hockey guy stuff, Ricky, but I will definitely watch that before. Last question. Have I ever thought about doing a live in between periods at a game? Yeah, but I think it's just such a uncontrolled environment. It'll be loud. The light. I know you guys. If it's live, people won't care about the sound, about the lighting. They'll know it's more cool that I'm going live. But yeah, I kind of really want to focus on my experience there at the game and the people there, as opposed to people watching me online. That's my first thought, but that's a really, really good question. Friends, I do have to get going. So moderators, thank you for doing what you need to do. Members, that's legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovelander, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members. Thanks for your support as always. And to everyone who watched, who liked, who subscribed, thank you as well. I always appreciate you. I never take you for granted. Thank you, Bill, for gifting a membership. And thank you, Carol, for gifting 2 memberships. You guys are awesome. On your way out, you can still subscribe. You can still like the video. You can still gift a membership. You can still leave a donation. You can still become a member. You can still upgrade your own membership. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. And thank you to my sponsors, Vancity Experts Real Estate and Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. I will be back tomorrow night at 11 p.m. We'll be talking about a Canucks Stars game, hopefully a Canucks victory. I'll hopefully drag Kayla on the stream for a little bit. And who knows what else we'll end up talking. Maybe I'll go a little bit longer tomorrow because I'm actually off work both tomorrow and Friday. I don't go back to work until Friday the 29th. So I'm going to enjoy a nice little mini one week vacation. And it's the perfect time to have that vacation. Looking for Canucks tickets? Email me, canuckclay@gmail.com. And if you want to go on this Vancouver Vegas trip, email Neal Chark, Neal C at uniglobecarefree.ca. Okay, friends, you guys are awesome. As always, stay safe. Stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. You know, earlier today, I went shopping. I went shopping for camouflage pants. Yes, I wanted some camouflage pants, but I couldn't find any. God bless, and go Canucks go. Booyah.